Good Tuesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window and a beautiful shot outside our window from this afternoon. This from our Blag Mountain Local Tel Sky-Fi Tower camera shot, and it's coming from East Wenatchee, looking down at the Wenatchee Valley and the beautiful cascades, snow-capped cascades in the background. We did see a mix of high clouds and some blue sky out there today, and it was a nice day out there, and not much is going to change as we make our way through the rest of this work week. Once again, we'll see some clouds tomorrow, and once again on Thursday, temperatures remaining steady in the upper 30s. Friday, sunshine as well as Saturday, but then a bit of a cool down as we get into the end of the weekend by Sunday. Temperatures near the freezing mark with a 30% chance of snow, and we'll talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. Governor Jay Inslee on Monday announced forward progress in Washington's anti-COVID vaccination program. And the Chelan County PUD wants to help its largest customers save thousands on their power bill through an energy audit and systems upgrade at little or no cost to the customer. But first, we begin tonight. A cyber attack took out many systems used by the government of Okanogan County yesterday, delaying jury trials and limiting other county operations. The sheriff's office said the incursion is affecting email, phone lines, and vital computer systems. Information technology personnel are working to alleviate the problem. County offices remained open, but services were limited, and officials couldn't say when all services might be restored. Last month, the city of Ellensburg fell victim to a similar attack, this one involving ransomware that encoded the city's data, while the thieves demanded money to restore operations. Governor Jay Inslee yesterday announced forward progress in Washington's anti-COVID vaccination program. An additional 400,000 people statewide are now eligible to receive the coronavirus immunization, and with a target of 45,000 new vaccinations per day. Plus, Wenatchee next week will receive its own mass vaccination site.
In the first tier of Phase 1B is changing so that all Washingtonians who are 65 and older will be eligible to receive vaccines starting immediately. Now, the reason for this is clear. About 80% of all COVID deaths in the state of Washington have occurred to individuals who are 65 and older. So our vaccine prioritization obviously reflects the need to protect these most vulnerable Washingtonians. Now, in addition to that, Washingtonians age 50 and over who are living in multi-generational households will also be eligible in this tier, one of our measures to reflect our desire for equity in our community. So this is taking place immediately, so people over the age of 65 and those, as I've described, are eligible, are now eligible to go get vaccines, and we hope people will. We are setting up the following sites that will begin vaccine administration starting next week: at the Spokane Arena in Spokane, the Benton County Fairgrounds in Kennewick, the Town Toyota Center in Wenatchee, and the Clark County Fairgrounds in Ridgefield. So the state's allocation for doses for next week will be divided between these sites and pharmacies and local clinics to begin 1B vaccinations, as well as existing vaccination large-scale, high-throughput sites that are currently under development in Snohomish, King, and Pierce counties. We want to have statewide coverage in this respect.
Dates and times for that Town Toyota Center vaccination site aren't yet set, but all people 65 and older and anyone 50 or older living with 2 or more generations in a single household would have priority for the vaccine. The Chelan County PUD wants to help its largest customers save thousands on their power bill through an energy audit and systems upgrades at little or no cost to the customer. Jim White, Senior Energy Efficiency Engineer for the PUD, said one of its biggest power users, the Town Toyota Center, is a perfect example of how the program can be a big win for both the customer and the PUD. The Town Toyota Center project began in 2016 and was completed in 2019. White says it was fully funded by the PUD, which sells the power it saves on the wholesale market.
We're talking $900,000, a lot of money that went into this project. And what this is through, because they're a local government, we have what we call our local government program. We are funding a higher incentive amount. We funded up to 100% of their costs to try to minimize the costs that these agencies have to put out of their pocket in order to come up with these funds. And for others, depending on the measure, we try to go up to 75% depending on how much energy savings. And in some cases, for heating and cooling equipment, it could actually even pay for 100% of the cost. And we don't have to build additional power lines and substations and things when we do conservation. So it saves us from having to spend money, plus we have additional power that we can sell that benefits and keeps our rates low.
And we began this project in 2016, and actually was done in 3 phases. The first one was the I-fiber rink, and that was the lighting in there. Then the second, we moved into to the main arena, and that also wasn't just lighting, it was also HVAC efficiencies and all around there. And in the third phase was essentially everything else. It was offices, concession areas, public areas, meeting rooms, in those phases. So what it means, the number one, the cost savings turned out to be about 20% when we go back to what usage was from 2016 to early in 2020. You get brighter lights. So we all have a better product than we had before. And that's with the LED lights. You have less fixtures, but yet again, a much better product. And also, if you see behind me, it's allowed us to do complete colored lights. We can use it for whatever, to entertain public, whether we go blue, red, bounce back and forth. The also big part of that is you can actually go quick strike. Those who live in warehouses and you have the old lights, it's 9, 10, 12 minutes to warm up to full. And arenas always had to deal with that. Now, boom, go in and out. You can go dark, boom, then safety, you can come right back up on an instant basis. A monthly basis we're about $150,000 a month with all sold, so we're taking those, the savings into it is really meaning $10,000 to $12,000 per month. That is no longer a cost that we've had to make up, so incredible.
Coming up next, the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery will share in some $6.1 million federal dollars, allocated for water infrastructure. New members are joining the Our Valley, Our Future Board of Directors. And 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier is getting some plum committee assignments. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob. I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs. You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Welcome back. In another news, the Leavenworth National Fish Hatchery will share in some $6.1 million federal dollars allocated for water infrastructure. 4th District Congressman Dan Newhouse announced the appropriations late last week. Alongside the hatchery, reservoir, and groundwater projects in the Columbia Basin, they will also share in the federal money. Another $7.7 million go to water projects in the Yakima River Basin. New members are joining the Our Valley, Our Future board. The community engagement group this week welcomed Norma Gallegos, Alma Chacon, and Ron Kreidelbaugh as its board of directors. Gallegos is an immigration services coordinator and a founding member of Our Valley, Our Future. Chacon is executive director of the nonprofit Cafe. Kreidelbaugh is economic and business development director with Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority. Our Valley, Our Future aims at helping to create guidance for civic leaders in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee and providing resources during the pandemic. Meanwhile, 8th District Congresswoman Kim Schreier is getting some plum committee assignments. The second-term Democrat will serve on the Health, Energy, and Oversight panels on the House Energy and Commerce Committee. That gives her a legislative role on questions of public health, Medicare, health insurance, fossil fuels, and hydropower, as well as investigations of agencies that fall under the committee. In the last Congress, Schreier had seats on agriculture, education, and labor panels. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The Manson Chamber of Commerce says over $26,000 was raised for Lake Chelan Swim at the annual Polar Bear Plunge. Lake Chelan Swim offers free swim lessons to local kids. To swim the icy waters was part of the weekend-long Winterfest celebration. In tonight's feature story, video from the Chelan Chamber shows many of the brave souls who ventured into the frigid lake waters.
Here you can see the bridge that's going to be. So let's give a big round of applause, folks. Next weekend, I think we should do it again. Because this seems like a normal summer day. Okay.
Good stuff.
It was amazing. Amazingly cold. Craziest thing I've ever done, actually. It was so cold, it hurt.
Burr. Time now for a look at your north central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a great day today. Weather-wise, wasn't bad at all, that's for sure. This shot provided by Local and our Sky-Fi tower camera on Blagg Mountain in East Wenatchee, looking back at the Wenatchee Valley. Omi Gardens right in here somewhere, I think, Uriah, that's where you told me it was. And also some Cascades with some beautiful snow-capped peaks in the background. It was just a nice mid-January day today. High temperature unofficially today, 38 degrees, and that's about where we thought we'd get today. 35 is our normal high for this time of year. 27 is where we started the day. It was really frosty this morning out there. 25 is normal. Record high, 49 degrees. That was set back in 1994. 1 below zero, our record low in 1962. Sunrise, 7:40 this morning, and the sun set for us this afternoon at 4:44. Let's take a peek now at your Hump Day Wednesday forecast as we get through the middle part of our week. And I'll tell you, we are in a very quiet weather pattern, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But tomorrow's temperatures will pretty much reflect that, almost exactly like today. 40 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 39 for Quincy, 38 tomorrow once again for Wenatchee, also Eniat, Chelan, and 37 the high temperature up in Omak. As we take a look at that surface loop tonight now, mostly cloudy skies. We will see a light breeze, high pressure right here, still hanging on to a bit of a ridge over us, and that will stay there at least for another day or so before another area of high pressure brings a little reinforcement to it. Wednesday, mostly cloudy skies, just slightly cooler for tomorrow. I think that's because we'll see more cloudiness, but temperatures still not bad, about like we were today, as we mentioned, in the upper 30s. For Thursday, mostly cloudy, calm. It will be mild. That ridge holding on again, another area of high pressure out in the Pacific. There will be a little bit of activity Thursday, but that'll be relatively mainly back into the Cascades. As we get into the end of our work week on Friday, mostly sunny and temperatures will remain above normal, but notice our area of high pressure, lots of clouds circulating around that high, and that will connect with an area of low pressure and begin to bring a little bit of moisture our way, but not on Saturday. Sunny, a little bit cooler for Saturday. You can see the blue, and it's extending all the way down into Arizona and New Mexico. And then Sunday, a little area of low pressure, just a surface low develops, and that'll bring us about a 30% chance of snow on Sunday. The big news for Sunday, much cooler. Notice the flow of air now right from the Gulf of Alaska, so we're talking temperatures only about the freezing mark on Sunday. And then for Monday, partly cloudy skies. We will be just slightly warmer. Once again, a little bit of a ridge tries to build as the storm system moves to the southeast. Temperatures, though, on Monday, a little warmer, but still cool in the lower to mid-30s. Let's take a look now at your 7-day forecast. Tonight, 30 degrees with a few clouds, 38 tomorrow, 38 Thursday as well. Not going to change much as we get into the upcoming weekend. Maybe just a slight cool down on Saturday, and then we really cool down Sunday with a 30% chance of snow. Partly cloudy then for Monday and warmer with a high temperature then of 35 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
In a world afraid of technology, one man, one show will bring you the newest innovations that may just change your life. This summer, Ray McNeil and your Weekly Tech Update is your Weekly Tech Update with Ray McNeil.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Tuesday to you. Athletic directors in North Central Washington released a tentative varsity football schedule today. Games would begin on March 5th with classifications thrown out the window to create regional matchups. On the opening night, Friday night, March 5th, Moses Lake would play at Wenatchee while Eastmont travels to Royal. March 12th would feature the first Bridge of Sportsmanship game of the year as Eastmont would host Wenatchee. Casimir plays at Moses Lake and Ephrata hosts Royal. You can find the rest of the schedule released today on our website at ncwlife.com. Of course, this doesn't include all of the fall sports for teams in the region. Eastmont Athletic Director Russ Waterman told me that they'll hopefully have those out by Friday. Well, for the first time in club history, the Louisville Cardinals are ranked number 1 in the country by the Associated Press. Louisville moved to the number 1 spot Monday, a day after previous number 1 Stanford lost to Colorado. Coach Jeff Waltz said, quote, "It's really special. It's neat to be able to share with these young women, not only the ones here right now, but the players who have played in the past to help build this where it is," end quote. Of course, Kashmir grad Haley Van Lith is in her freshman year at Louisville. She's averaging 12.8 points a game. She leads the team in minutes played and is second on the team in rebounds with 75 and steals with 16. Van Lith and the Cardinals host number 21 Syracuse Thursday at 6 o'clock. You can see it on ESPN2. Well, here's a look at the upcoming college basketball schedule for the week. First on the women's side, Gonzaga women currently ranked 20th in the country. Had its game against San Diego scheduled for Thursday postponed due to COVID in the SDU program. On Friday, Washington State plays at number 13 Oregon at 5 o'clock on the Pac-12 network. Washington finally through its COVID problems plays at Oregon State Friday at 7. Gonzaga will host BYU Saturday at 2 o'clock. On the men's schedule, Washington makes up its game with Colorado in Seattle Wednesday at 6. Washington State hosts Utah on Thursday at 7 on the Pac-12 network. Washington State hosts Colorado Saturday at 5, and then number 1 Gonzaga hosts Pacific at 7 o'clock. You can watch that game on Root Sports. Well, it's a busy Monday in the NHL as we check the Les Schwab scoreboard. Pierre-Luc Dubois scored what proved to be the game winner at the 6:26 mark of the third period, giving Columbus a 3-2 win in Detroit. Semyon Varlamov made 27 saves in his second straight shutout for the Islanders as New York blanked Boston 1-0. Mitchell Marner scored twice as Winnipeg topped Toronto 3-1. Curtis Lazar and Sam Reinhart each scored 2 goals to help Buffalo to its first win of the season, downing Philadelphia 6-1. Jordan Quiros' goal midway through the third lifted St. Louis over San Jose 5-4. And other action, Carolina doubled up Nashville 4-2. Anaheim shut out Minnesota 1-0. Calgary conked the Canucks 5-2. Montreal skated past Edmonton 3-1. And Vegas improved to 3-0 with a 4-2 win over Arizona. 8 games fill the slate today with the Rangers hosting the Devils. Sabres visit the Flyers. Panthers host the Blackhawks. Washington skates at Pittsburgh. The Senators welcome the Flames. The Red Wings take on the Blue Jackets. Hurricanes skate at Nashville. And the late game has the Kings hosting the Avalanche. Well, the Seahawks have some interesting choices to make in the offseason regarding its running backs. Both Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde are unrestricted free agents. Carson led the team in rushing with 681 yards on 141 carries. He missed 4 games due to a foot injury. Hyde finished behind Russell Wilson rushing for 356 yards on 81 carries. He missed 6 games due to injury or illness. Now, Coach Pete Carroll said before the firing of offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer that he'd like to see more success in the running game next season.
Around that, we got to make sure that we're efficient. And against really good defenses, you have to be efficient with the football, and that means we got to complete 70% of our passes in this game and run the ball for 140 or 50 yards. And if we do that, then we will have made enough progress. We'll be available for the opportunities. Let's not forget, and I don't like bringing it up again because it's a sore subject for all of us. But third downs, you got us. We were 3 for 15 or something in the game, and that got us. And that's not good enough. And that's one of the primary areas that will allow us to run the ball more. You convert, you get more chances, and so we have to go back, and third down has got to be better. We have been, Paul earlier cited the numbers, we're right in the middle of the league. We need to be better than that, and Russ is good enough to be better than that. Our scheme is good enough. Tyler, DK, we need to mix the throwing game on third down. We need to mix our run game on third down so that we don't, we don't have to leave the field. We need to stay out there. Leave us out there, we're dangerous, and so that's a really specific area of the game. It's running the football more effectively to control the scheme, and it's third down play. If you really want to nail it for, okay, that's where Pete thinks he needs to go in this offseason, as well as continue to get better on D.
Seattle continues to conduct interviews with potential offensive coordinators. So far, no other coaching changes have been announced for the Seahawks this offseason. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Grant, back to you.
And thank you very much, Eric. And some sad news to pass along as we leave you tonight. The woman the Seattle Times once called Soap Lake's first citizen has died. The death of lodging, entertainment, and restaurant legend Marina Romari was announced yesterday by her business partner at the resort in Mexico. For decades, Romari owned and managed Don's Steakhouse, the Soap Lake Businessmen's Club, and the Notaris Inn, a series of rustic cabins. Romari helped draw tens of thousands of visitors to Soap Lake by bringing big-name entertainers to her club. For a few years in the 80s, she had a mud wrestling pit outside her club with contestants grappling in Soap Lake's famous muck. When she was serving as Soap Lake mayor, Romari famously wrestled Police Chief Dick Robinson to a draw. After selling her Soap Lake businesses in 2014, Romari spent her winters in Mexico's California Baja Sur at the Curtin Marina Resort, which she owned with partner Kurt Graham. Now let's check in with Dan Coons for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Tomorrow on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we're going to visit with Leslie Freitag, the general manager of the Pybus Public Market. They're open inside. Granted, they have to have the doors open. It's kind of a complicated story, but you can actually go inside and partake at some of the finer restaurants at the Pybus Public Market, and you can do so now. We'll talk about that whole process with Leslie Freitag on tomorrow's edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, plus weather, sports, news, the obscure holiday today, and history, celebrity birthdays, and an opinion from Mike McNaughty. We will see you Wednesday, tomorrow, 7 a.m., right here from Studio 7. Grant, back to you.
And thank you, Dan. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
2021 models are arriving at Sangster Motors. General Motors is on the move with the all-new 2021 Yukon. Yukon is redesigned from the ground up with a bold new look and all the latest technology. Also new is the Canyon AT4 pickup. This off-road equipped mid-size truck will challenge any rival for performance and value. Both of these models will offer Duramax diesel options for maximum power and economy. The American Challenge is game on at Sangster Motors now.
Hey everyone, Fletcher and Amy Ellingson here from Live It Up. Join us every week as we answer your questions on health, wealth, and relationships.
We're all about you creating a life that you love, so tune in to Live It Up.
For all the latest news in North Central Washington, go to ncwlife.com or find us on Facebook. Got a news tip? Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-2020.